Now, amid the chaos now consuming the White House over Rod Rosenstein, Stein, a new accuser has come out against Brett Kavanaugh as Republicans continue to try to ram through his nomination. Now, CNN is reporting that the White House and top Republicans on Monday had rejected Democratic demands for a halt in Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation process following the new allegation. Now, Ronan Farrow, writing for The New Yorker, details some of these allegations that come from Deborah Ramirez, who was identified as the second accuser. Now, she's 53 years old, and she was at Yale with Kavanaugh and said that she remembers him exposing himself to her at a dorm party. She said, quote, "He thrust his penis in my face and caused me to touch it without my consent." So that's gross. That's a wonderful image. So enjoy that. Now, she is now calling for the FBI to investigate Kavanaugh's role in the incident. So she's calling for it. And then the first accuser is also calling for an investigation into these allegations. So what are Republicans doing? No, push him through. We need to have him confirmed. We need to have him confirmed now. But wait, there are two allegations. Whether they're true or not, well, investigation will find out. Now, here's the other thing, right? Again, you have two allegations against him, possibly a third and a fourth, which are also being investigated as well, where they are being looked into by different media outlets. Look, this appears to be a pattern. The floodgates are beginning to open. Now, here's something that I hear a lot from conservatives who are talking about this. Yeah, but these are just allegations from years and years ago. They're innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, but that argument sucks. And here's why. This is not a criminal proceeding. This is vetting a potential Supreme Court justice pick. This is somebody who's going to have immense power through their rulings for a very, very long time. If you're going to make that argument, yeah, I get it. But it's a bad argument. And that is actually why you should be in favor of an investigation. Like, if you are if you are concerned with due process, then you should be like, yeah, why don't we have them look into it? Instead, they're like, no, shove them through. Democratic plan. Don't believe the victims. We haven't looked into any of the facts, but let's blame the victims anyway and shove this guy through because it's nothing more than Soros-funded bullshit anyway. That's what they're talking about. When you look, into the stories over on the right about this, it's like a whole entirely different world where every person that has accused Kavanaugh, whether or not, it ends up being fake, they've already made up their minds. It's all fake. But we don't know if they're fake or not. We don't know if those are real accusations. Maybe we should actually look into it. But no, they are trying to rush through these proceedings. Congressmen are pushing them, trying to push them through. In fact, here you have Lindsey Graham, right? Lindsey Graham on this. Basically is accusing Democrats of causing the total collapse of the traditional confirmation process for a Supreme Court nominee. That's what he said. Really? No, don't you think that would actually have been the appointment of Merrick Garland, whom Republicans held up for over a year? President Obama made that pick of Merrick Garland. And what did the Republicans do? Stall. They did not give him a hearing. They didn't do anything. They stalled him until Donald Trump won the presidency. And now we have Neil Gorsuch. You want to talk about the total collapse of the traditional confirmation process? That would be it right there. We are way beyond that. But anyway, it's still bullshit. But he says no. Quote, "It is being replaced by a game of delayed deception and wholesale character assassination." It's character assassination. But you don't know the facts, Lindsey. I don't care about the facts, he says. No. This is character assassination, uh, which means I don't believe the victims whatsoever, or the alleged victims whatsoever. That's what they're saying before any of the facts came out. And again, we should look into that, because is every single allegation true? No. But guess what? You might want to look into it. And I would say most allegations are true because of how difficult it is to come out with them. But wait, Lindsay, I thought you cared about the facts. Well, apparently he does not. Just like the rest of the Republican Party, you want to shove this guy through because, A, he is deeply pro-corporate and will do exactly what your donors want. That's why he's doing this. That's why these Republicans are so aggressive with Kavanaugh. Well, my donors really like Kavanaugh because he's massively pro-corporate and will do everything and rule in favor of corporations nearly 100% of the time. That's what it is. No cares if they allegedly assaulted a woman or shoved his junk in somebody's face in a party. No. Won't somebody please think of the donors? Now, in a statement, Kavanaugh, of course, issued this denial. He said, the alleged event from 35 years ago did not happen. The people who knew me then know that this did not happen and have said so. This is a smear, plain and simple. I look forward to testifying on Thursday about the truth and defending my good name and the reputation for my character and integrity that I have spent a lifetime building against these last-minute allegations. And again, that's something that we hear a lot from Republicans. It's last minute. Why didn't they come out sooner? Why, if it had been all these years, why did they not come out with these sexual assault allegations? Well, probably the best time for them to come out, if they're going to come out at all. I mean, look, yeah, definitely would want them to be, out as soon as it happens. Of course, right? But there's a lot of difficulty in reporting. And I guess the second best time is when there's a lot of scrutiny towards this person who has been offered a very powerful position. This would be a great time. And it is a great time. But anyway, you also have Carrie Kupak, a White House spokeswoman, who issued this statement. This 35-year-old uncorroborated claim is the latest in a coordinated smear campaign by the Democrats. I wish the Democrats were as principled as these guys claim they are. No, man, Democrats are running around with their like a chicken with their head cut off. If the Democrats really wanted to stop Kavanaugh, they just would have done the same thing as Republicans and not held a freaking hearing. But Democrats, they suck. They suck at fighting. They suck at standing up for themselves. You don't understand. We must be civil to our Republican colleagues. This is over why the Republicans are literally gearing up to punch you in the face. Okay, not literally, but, politically. They don't play fair. And it's time Democrats are actually realize that and hit back. And again, not physically, right? But politically, and to actually be strong for once. Now, anyway, they said this claim is denied by all who are said to be present and is wholly inconsistent with what many women and men who knew Judge Kavanaugh at the time in college say. The White House stands firmly behind Judge Kavanaugh. Now, I always thought it was kind of funny where, 30 women or something like that as soon as these allegations came out, the first one, there was signed paper with 30 women produced pretty much that same day or later on in the day saying, oh no, we know Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh's a great guy. Well, who has that? Who has that at the ready? I don't know. Maybe they organized really super quick, but something doesn't add up. Something doesn't add up at all on that. And then, of course, the other excuse is, well, look, I didn't mark that in my calendar. I didn't mark that there was a party. Who keeps a calendar for 30? And that's one of his pieces of evidence that he's going to bring forward. Oh, no, I have calendars from way back then. Who keeps their calendar for 30 years? Over 30 years. I don't. As soon as I'm done with it, I throw the goddamn thing out. Maybe I'm weird, But I don't keep those things around to, I guess, protect me from allegations that I supposedly didn't do. Well, then why have all this stuff, this so-called proof? Something stinks. It does not add up. But going back to the defenses here comes President Trump. He said, for people to come out of the woodwork from 36 years ago and 30 years ago and never mention it and all of a sudden it happens, in my opinion, it's totally political. It's totally political. I mean, it happened in the past, so obviously they would have said something, right? Well, no. Most sexual assault goes unreported, as a lot of it gets excused as, this is boys being boys, man. Not only that, but we regularly shame women who come forward for not apparently coming forward soon enough. That's what this is. Oh, why didn't you come forward sooner? You must be lying. Not only that, but we blame them for dressing for the way that they dress or the way that they conduct themselves or for having a drink, right? Not only that, but there are people that worry more about the men and I don't want to ruin this guy's future and I don't want to besmirch his good name by bringing forward these accusations. Think of how Brock Turner was treated after he was found sexually assaulting a woman who was unconscious behind a dumpster. How did we treat Brock Turner? Do you remember that? They talked about it. They gave him a slap on the wrist because it was an athlete. And they talked about not wanting to ruin his future with a harsh sentence. You ever think that maybe the way that we treat these people, men, especially in our society, is why more women don't go forward? No, there's no concern about what the woman goes through. None. And they wonder why they don't report. The first accuser, by the way, chased out of her home, threatened, harassed. And finally, Trump called Kavanaugh, quote, a fine man with an unblemished past. I just want you to consider some of the other people Donald Trump referred to as very fine people. Think about that. Look, here's the thing. The second, and this is the second accuser. This is Ramirez, right? Now, because of a lot of this, she was hesitant to speak publicly. She told New York Magazine. Now, she also said, look, I was drinking that night. I had some gaps, right, in my memory. So I wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure that this was Kavanaugh I remembered. Now, she took about 6 days to assess her memories and consult with her attorney, and then told the New Yorker that she felt confident enough in her recollections to say that she remembers that it was Kavanaugh who was there exposing himself. Now, a classmate of Ramirez's who was not at the party and who declined to be identified told the magazine that he is 100% sure that either on the night of the party or in the next day or two, he was told Kavanaugh was the student who exposed himself to Ramirez. Now, contrast that with, of course, this. Several classmates of Ramirez interviewed by the New Yorker who issued statements to the magazine said they have no memory of the alleged incident or disputed her account of events. So right now, we don't know. But you know what that means? We should actually have a closer look. If it's true that he did do this, we should know. If he didn't do this, then we should also know. Look, all I'm interested in here is finding the truth. What really happened? If Kavanaugh did it, we should know. If Kavanaugh didn't do it, well, then actually that would be a great help to Kavanaugh. Because then the Democrats would be like, well, okay, well, I guess we'll just roll over and allow Kavanaugh's confirmation now. That would be a great help to Kavanaugh. So he should welcome an investigation. And I don't know why he's not. Now, finally, one more piece of information here. And this concerns Republicans. Now, CNN's Caitlin Collins reported on Sunday that multiple senior White House officials had privately expressed concern last week that a second Kavanaugh accuser would emerge. And guess what? That's what happened. And at least 3 senior aides said last week that they were confident Kavanaugh would be confirmed, but warned that a second accusation could derail his nomination altogether. And now, of course, there are reports of a possible third and fourth accuser for Kavanaugh. It's not looking good. So now you might be wondering, why is he so set on Kavanaugh when there are potentially a lot of very corporate, very pro-corporate, very, I guess, pro-life or pro-birth or whatever you want to call it, judges waiting to overturn Roe v. Wade that are incredibly, I guess you could say, qualified legally, and exactly what Republicans are looking for on the bench. Just waiting for a nomination. You could just be like, hey, we withdraw the nomination for Kavanaugh and let's pick somebody who's a little less controversial, at least when it comes to that. Controversial in many other ways, of course. Why? Well, it's because of one thing. Donald Trump wants Kavanaugh because he doesn't believe that a sitting president should be impeached or indicted. That's why Trump wants him. Remember, Kavanaugh was actually a huge part of the Kenneth Starr investigation into Bill Clinton. And then suddenly, after that, he decided, oh, yeah, I'm in favor of executive privilege. I'm in favor of making sure that we don't hold these people accountable when they're the president, so that we don't remove them. Fascinating. Weird how he changes his mind now that there is a court seat, his court seat, on the line. But again, out of all the people Trump could pick, he picks Kavanaugh, backs him 100%, despite allegations. Then again, Donald Trump has a ton of allegations against him as well. And him admitting on tape, I grab women by the pussy. Birds of a feather, man. And not only that, just like Donald Trump, the majority of the American people are against the nomination of Kavanaugh. But as I said before, Trump wants him for a very specific reason. And the Republican congressmen are more than willing to go along because of another reason. Corporate donors. That's why they're pushing this. That's why they want him confirmed as fast as possible. And that's why, of course, these allegations are wrecking them. I don't know if Kavanaugh will be confirmed. I hope Democrats stand strong, and I hope that there are a couple of Republicans who have enough of a spine, a backbone to say, hey, wait a minute. Maybe we should look into this a little bit more and not just rush to confirm someone who may or may not have done some heinous things in the past. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.